This question comes from literally no one because it's absolutely ridiculous. But that's never stopped us before. So, what would happen if Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on Earth, was made entirely of glass? Let's assume it's not just a thin layer of glass coating the rocks. No, we're talking about a full solid 8,848 meter tall glass mountain. Every boulder, every ridge, every peak, all of it, transparent, brittle, and reflective. You wake up one morning in Nepal, rub your eyes, and suddenly, boom, Mount Everest is now the world's largest luxury coffee table. First off, how much glass are we talking about? The approximate volume of Mount Everest is around 240 cubic kilometers. That's 240 billion cubic meters of material. If we replaced all that with standard soda-lime glass, the kind used in windows, we'd end up with over 600 trillion kilograms of the stuff. To compare, that's about 100 times more than the total mass of all the humans currently on Earth. It would be the heaviest and most structurally questionable sculpture in the solar system. And here's where things get interesting. Glass, while beautiful and occasionally deadly when you drop your phone, isn't known for being structurally stable on a geological scale. Under pressure, it cracks. Under intense cold, it shatters. Under the weight of, well, itself, it implodes. Real mountains are made of layered rock, compacted by time and tectonics. But glass has no layers. It's amorphous. It doesn't deform like rock under stress. It just gives up. Which means a 9-kilometer tall glass structure might not even be physically possible on Earth. Before you could say, look out below, the entire mountain would collapse in an apocalyptic avalanche of razor-sharp debris, turning the Himalayas into a glittery death field. A kind of real-life snow globe. But instead of snow, it's billions of flying glass shards. Okay, but let's assume, somehow, through a miracle of fantasy physics or the intervention of a bored alien civilization, the mountain doesn't collapse. Let's say it's stable. Still sharp, still beautiful, still deadly. What happens next? Well, first, tourism explodes. Climbing Everest is already considered the pinnacle of mountaineering. Now, imagine climbing a completely transparent Everest. Instagram would never recover. Every influencer in the world would rush to Nepal to take a selfie on the glass summit. Which sounds great, until you consider that the entire climb would be a 3D nightmare. Ice axes and crampons? Useless. They'd shatter the surface. Ropes. Good luck anchoring into glass. Even walking would be dangerous. One misplaced step, and you might slide 3,000 meters to your sparkly doom. And that's not even mentioning the heat. Glass reflects and focuses sunlight. On a sunny day, parts of the mountain would turn into concentrated beams of light, literally cooking climbers alive, like ants under a magnifying glass. Meanwhile, avalanches would no longer be composed of snow and rock. They'd be made of shattered glass. One wrong gust of wind, and a curtain of glittering knives would descend the slope, slicing through anything in its path. Animals, climbers, yaks, tents. Small thoughts of optimism. Local wildlife, understandably, would move far, far away. The snow leopards would file for relocation. Birds would be blinded mid-flight. The local ecosystem would collapse faster than a climber wearing sneakers. Oh, and you know that old mountaineering wisdom, don't look down? Yeah. Good luck with that on a transparent mountain. Every step would give you a clear view of the several kilometers of air between you and the rocky floor of the valley. It would be less like climbing a mountain and more like hiking across a vertical glass bridge from a nightmare. But there's more. Imagine the optical effects. At dawn and dusk, the sun would refract through the entire peak, casting kaleidoscopic patterns across the sky. It would become the most visually spectacular natural wonder on Earth. A giant crystalline spire stabbing into the heavens, glimmering with every sunrise. Beautiful, unapproachable, lethal. And then, one day an earthquake hits, just a small one, maybe a 4.0. That's enough. The structure was already hanging on by a miracle. With a deep, earth-shattering groan, fissures begin to appear along the flanks. The cracks race downward like lightning bolts. The whole mountain, under its impossible weight, begins to fracture. From miles away, people see it happening. The world's tallest monument of hubris shattering into dust. A 29,000-foot tall chandelier collapsing in slow motion. The sound, deafening. A shriek of grinding silica. The aftermath, unthinkable. Billions of fragments, many the size of buildings, raining down on Nepal, China, Bhutan, and India. Satellites record the glittering wave from space. People across Asia look up and see not snow, but a deadly silver storm. The mountain that once stood as a symbol of endurance, challenge, and